Aussie Mark here with a fixed blade knife review. Something a little bit different today. We've got a Morris Knives Classic Hunter 8. Now, Morris Knives is an operation out of Michigan in the United States of America, and it's a one-man operation run by a gentleman called Michael Morris. He makes his knives from old files, or used files is probably a more correct term, which he obtains and then retempers. Files, of course, are very hard. With that hardness comes brittleness, which is not suitable for knife use. So they're retempered down. This particular one has been retempered down to around 56 to 58 Rockwell hardness, according to the website. The files are W1 or W2 tool steel. Now, I don't know much about steels, but it is a high carbon steel apparently. The one thing that does mean to me, of course, is that carbon steel can rust, so obviously you need to keep a bit of oil on these blades. He, as I said, makes these in a well-equipped workshop there, and I've seen some videos on YouTube of him making him, and I'll post some links to those videos down below, as well as a link to his website. Really interesting, well worth watching, very well produced videos. I wish I could do anything about even 10% as good. This particular knife, as mentioned, is the Classic Hunter 8. I am told by Michael it's one of his more popular models, and I can certainly understand why. Suitable uses for this knife, well, it's certainly a good collectible knife. It's beautifully finished, beautifully presented, but also I think it's a very useful knife for things like camping, hiking, general outdoors type use. It should certainly hold up to any kind of use that you put to it. Quite thick steel, and obviously should be very strong. It's a drop point blade, which I really love. We'll just bring it up a little bit closer to camera and we'll look at some of these features. You can see that beautiful blade shape, drop point. It's got an unsharpened swedge on the top there. Hollow ground, and you probably can just see the maker's mark on there. Morris, which is of course his surname, and there's what I presume to be a serial number. I guess each one must be individually numbered. The cutting edge on this blade, from tip to this point here, is 3 3/4 inches. The overall length of the knife is 8 1/4 inches. Just have a quick look at the handle. It runs a black micarta bolster up front. Now, all of this model of the knife do, and this material here is a material called Dymondwood, which is a man-made wood product. You can probably see if you look carefully, it's almost like some plies there. I think it's similar to ply, but it's made under high pressure and with high temperature, and it's coloured all the way through before manufacture. So as I understand, that colour, that green in this particular one, goes all the way through. It looks lacquered, but I'm fairly certain that Michael doesn't actually lacquer them. I think that's just buffed up. Very smooth finish, which is good and bad. It looks really nice, but of course it doesn't give you a lot of grip, but the handle shape happily does. We'll talk about that more in a moment. Down the back here we've got an exposed sort of pommel down the bottom, and I've put this little bit of paracord on here that didn't come with the knife, and I'll show you why when we get to the sheath. Now, as mentioned, made from file, so you can see these grooves in the side and also running up alongside the knife there. Also on the top. Just get some focus in there. Of course down the other side. I think it gives the knives a really unique and very interesting look, and it's one of the things that caught my eye about these actually. Anzo or Anza knives, like I might pronounce it wrong, I believe, do much the same thing. Their knives are made the same way. So the handle we were going to talk about. Yes, it's smooth, very smooth in fact. However, with the finger choil here and the slight curvature, 3 fingers fit in there, it's quite secure. I think hands got sweaty, I think it might be a slightly different story, but it's not bad. And whilst the file grooves, if you like, have been smoothed out along here, they're still there, and whilst it's not like a traditional jimping feel, it does give you a little bit of friction, a little bit of extra grip up on the back for your thumb, which is not a bad thing. The weight of this knife, we'll get some more specs out of the way, let's put it down there, is 7.8 ounces or 219 grams. Now the knife and the sheath, which I'll roll into shot whilst we talk about it, it's a leather sheath. The knife with the sheath comes in at 10.6 ounces or 297 grams. Now we'll just have a quick talk about the sheath. As you can see, it's leather. This particular one is black. I know he does brown as well. And it's got his mark on the front there stamped in. Now Michael makes these sheaths himself as well. He actually does the whole thing, which is pretty impressive. I didn't realise that until I watched his videos. So these are actually cut out by himself, put together, and he actually hand stitches. These are not machine stitched or anything like that. As you can see, this is a left-handed one because I'm left-handed, and left-handers of the world rejoice, because one of the reasons that lefties tend to not like leather sheath side is they're invariably designed for right-handers. When I ordered this from Michael, I asked if he could do a left-handed sheath, and it was no problem, and here it is. So, you know, I know the right-handers won't really probably appreciate this, but let me tell you, being able to get a custom-made left-hand sheath is pretty damn cool. It's just something that you generally don't see around the place. So let's have a look at how the knife goes. We give it a bit of a cut test and everything. I mean, it's a beautiful knife. To me, to be honest, I'm probably not going to hard use this knife. It's a gorgeous thing, and I really bought it just because I love the look of it. But is it practical? Well, let's find out. We'll get a bit of paracord in here, a bit of pine there just to cut on, and we'll just do a push test on it. No problem. It's up on the belly, further back. Get a grip on it. Yeah, okay, not so good off the back, but on the straight edge, that's hardly surprising. Cuts very nice and easy on the belly. So we'll get rid of that out of the way. What about if we wanted to use this for outdoors use? We might want to do a bit of whittling, a bit of carving. So let's just get back on the rear of the blade here and see how far that goes in there. That's not too bad. You can feel it binding up as the blade thickens, and that's probably one of the disadvantages of the hollow grind. But certainly it works. There's no real problem with that. So if you needed to, you could make feather sticks, that kind of thing, using this blade in the outdoors. Now that's just pine, it's a seasoned pine. It's fairly hard. It's not a soft timber by any means, but obviously it's not a hardwood. So the knife works. It's not just a show pony. Just wipe that off again. However, it is very nice as a show pony. Now I mentioned that I put that little bit of paracord on. The reason I did that is the knife sits very, very deep into this sheath. There's no retention as such, no retention straps or anything, but it's really not going anywhere. Of course, hanging off your belt with gravity on your side, it'd be very difficult to lose that knife. It shouldn't get caught or anything. The problem with that was that there wasn't a lot to grip onto, particularly when it's sort of on your side on your belt. So I just put this little bit of paracord on here, and basically that just lets me pull it out, get the knife started, and then on the way. And actually I think it looks really nice too. It just sets the knife off, matches with that black bolster, the black paracord. So yeah, this is, I guess, a very traditional sort of a sheath, a very traditional way to carry a knife, and I must say, whilst it's probably not my normal way or my normal speed of knives, I actually really like it. I like that traditional aspect of this particular knife. So bottom line of this, I think it's a great knife. I can't remember exactly what I paid for it, but I know it's considerably less than I might have expected for a custom knife. His value, I think, is really good. The quality is brilliant. If we just grab a bit of paper, I'll just show you up close so I can get some focus. If you look down the barrel there, you'll see that the handle scales match up exactly. There's no sort of problem there. Have a look down there, and again, nicely matched up. Same down the back, everything's nice and even and symmetrical. I don't know if you can see that view. But everything's finished beautifully. Also, there's no lip, there's no undercutting on the handle, it's not hanging over anywhere. Everything is just really beautifully finished and smoothed off. The handles are nicely radiused, there's no sharp edges, there's no hot spots. Basically, very, very impressive piece of work. Very nice indeed. There's just, honestly, I cannot fault this thing as far as all that goes. Fit and finish. If you look there at the joint between the Micarta and the Dymondwood, it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. And again, you can see there, look at the where the Micarta, oh sorry, not the Micarta, yeah, the black Micarta joins the Dymondwood on both sides of that blade. It's beautifully even. It's just a great piece of work, beautifully made knife, and I'm really wrapped in having it, to be honest. So, as I say, I'll put links to Michael's site down the bottom there. Now, I was very fortunate when I emailed him to order this. I wanted a green-handled one, and as luck would have it, he just happened to have one sitting in stock, so I had this in pretty much no time at all from the United States. He does tell me that normally there's anything up to a 3-month waiting list, and particularly if you're ordering something that's a little bit special, maybe different pins or different handles or whatever, so you're after something totally unique, you may have to wait that long, but I think it's completely worth it, to be honest. So check out his site, have a look at his products, and yeah, I think they're a great thing, and I'll certainly be probably getting at least one more knife off him. I'll probably do that before I post this video so he doesn't get too rushed with sales. Right guys, thanks very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this look at the Morris Knives Classic Hunter 8, and talk to you on the next video. Bye for now.